Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Deborah Jones. This is Blue Table Talk, and I'm your host, Deborah Jones.
And I'm your co-host, Toya Ozan.
Oh, Tori, can you turn your computer up a little bit? Okay, good. And so tonight we have with us Flora Pink Singh. Did I say your last name right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good, good. Because I was just trying to figure that out. Is that Singh or something else? Anyway, Flora will be with us tonight, and guys, you need to. I was reading her resume, her bio, and I mean, Flo stays busy. That's all I can tell you. Flo stays busy. She's gonna go. I guess she probably stopped for 5 minutes just to do this podcast. So I'm glad you stepped in here, Flo. Thank you for stepping in tonight.
No
So
problem.
with
Thanks for
that
having
being
me.
said, yeah. With that being said, we're gonna give a little do a little housekeeping. Y'all know this is voting time in Beaumont, Texas. So we gotta get it, and it's for our city. So we gotta get up and vote. Early voting is February the 20th through March the 1st. So they have been out there, giving a little bio about themselves and the things that they do and everything. And we just have to meet some of those meetings, doing those forums and everything. So get out there and meet your candidates. So I plan on having some of them on, probably not all of them, but some of them on the podcast. So it's time to vote. Your voice means a whole lot. And so if you don't vote, you can't say anything about anything else. So let's get out there vote because our city election is real major. It's the most important thing. I mean, we have our government and everything, but when it comes to your city, it's what's happening in your city. So, both ladies and gentlemen, let's get out there and vote. If you are not registered to vote, you still have a little time, okay, to go out there and register to vote. Okay, so with that being said, also we're gonna go ahead and talk to Flo tonight. Hey, Flo.
Hey.
Look, Flo, I know a lot of people, even myself, don't know you, but I just know of you. So,
Mhm.
through Toya. And I thank Toya for bringing you on tonight. So give us a little introduction about yourself.
All right. Well, I am Flora Singh. I currently reside in Georgia. Now I am a native of New Jersey, so I'm a Jersey girl. I know that the show is in Texas, but shout out to anybody from Jersey that may watch the show. I am. Um, I want to say simple, but then when people that know me say no, you're not simple. But I'm not one to brag. I'm not one to boast about the things that I have done, that I've experienced in life. I know that everything that has happened in my life has only been by the grace of God, that has enabled me to be able to stand in different sectors in front of different people from all levels. I've had the opportunity of working in Fortune 500 companies to running businesses and traveling around the world, speaking on various platforms. And it's a joy just to be able to help and to give back to people, share the knowledge that I have, right? Because that which I have, I give, and I try to give it in environments like this, right, where we can educate people and just continue to expand my network. So right now, I'm married. I'm a mother of one, and I have one granddaughter, and the owner of Sing Tours International, which is a travel agency that is based in the US, but also is based in the US and in Jamaica. We have also reps in other countries. Black owned by a female. I'm very proud of that. And Flow With Me LLC, my business development coaching business, and just have been in the industry for roughly around about 15 years now.
Mhm.
That's me.
So when you out speaking, are you speaking to network with others, or are you speaking on just your company, or what?
So it really depends, right? I've been brought in to speak on different levels. So there was a time where I was in South Africa and I was brought in to speak on the millionaires brunch, and it was a male millionaires brunch just to talk business and talk business strategies. When
I
I
should be
was,
when you
huh?
said I should have been with you when you said male.
The opportunity was great because it's sometimes hard for men in certain countries to be able to receive information, let alone from a woman, an
Right,
American woman at that.
right,
But to be able
right.
to have the opportunity to stand in that platform, speak in that platform, and talk business and talk strategy, it was amazing. I've been brought in to speak on women empowerment sessions, in different areas. So it really depends. I have a very diverse resume as it relates to speaking. I'm also an ordained pastor, so I actually travel for ministry and outreach as well. So it really depends on what the current request is when I'm actually going out and speaking and teaching, and I'm a natural teacher.
Hmm.
So I like to kind of break things down as clear as possible so that even someone that doesn't understand can grasp it. So that's always been one of my good standpoints.
Right, right. Now,
Uh-huh.
I know you said that I'm reading with scrolling across the screen. Flow at me. What is Flow at me? What is that? What type of company is that?
So Flow with Me is a business development company. Um, Basically, what we do is we have some people that we work with on an individual basis, where depending on where they are, if they for it can be someone that's interested in starting in business, someone that has already been in business and looking to scale up. We come in, we assess their situation, help them get the roadmap that they need in order to be effective, whether it's going to be a roadmap to launch a business, whether it's a roadmap to launch a project, whether it's a roadmap to scale your business, or know whether to lean it. So we come in, we look at people's process right where they are and help them find ways to tap into multiple streams of income. So when we come in and we deal with it from a individual perspective, we handle it from that nature. I often say like no two kind of cases are the same, because there are some people that may come in and say, hey, we need someone to come in as a contractor and do training.
Right,
So myself and people that I have also on the team, we could actually send them out to different companies, big or small, where we can take your training module and actually facilitate trainings. So we've been doing that. We've done it with multiple companies globally.
hmm,
So it really depends on what the client is actually looking for when it comes to Flow with Me. It's very diverse, but it's all about the cultivating people in business and cultivating businesses
hmm.
as well,
So
and
you
giving structure and strategy.
right. So I was getting ready to say you help them get started in their business.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. That'll work because a lot of people who want to be in business don't know the first step of being in the business of how to start it. Really.
Hmm.
So that's where you step in. Am I
Right.
right?
hmm Yep.
Okay.
So
So.
it can be twofolds, because for someone that just wants to start, I can step in at that point. Sometimes you can be in business and you've kind of plateaued
Hmm.
and you don't know where to go, what to do from here. It's like I'm trying, everything that used to work is not working anymore. I don't know whether or not I should throw in the towel. And then that's when we can come in and kind of assess some things and see, okay, hey, let's start putting some new strategies together to, one, get the spark back, or find another way to actually keep the business going, or actually help people see or determine whether or
Right.
not it's time to fold, right? Because sometimes we get to a place with certain businesses it doesn't have relevance anymore.
Right.
And sometimes you can hold on to something for so long and don't realize it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Right. Right. I know back in the day, black people would start a business and, like you say, plateau, and they just finished with it. But now a lot of blacks have they stand strong now. You see, what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they don't want to go down that road as letting it go, because the
Mhm.
first thing they do that we used to do is just, okay, I can't do this anymore, let me let it go and everything. But it's not happening like that anymore.
Mhm.
And it's good because I like a lot of black entrepreneurs because it makes us strong
Right.
in an aspect. But that's good. I like that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
I also just heard you say you were the ordained minister as well.
Yes. Mhm.
So do you have a church, or are you just affiliated with a church?
So currently, I don't have a church of my own.
Hmm.
I am affiliated with two ministries. The church that I was ordained in is the New Generation Worship Center in New Jersey. Shout out to my pastor, Pastor Tracy Scheid. I'm sure she'll look at it on Facebook.
You bringing up that New Jersey.
I got to shout her out.
Yeah.
For international affairs for years under that ministry, traveling to different countries and doing mission trips, doing outreach, again, bringing a skill to a different area, just using a very strategic format to drive the message of the kingdom. Sometimes we think it's all about just sitting in the pulpit, but there's some people that may not never come into a church. And sometimes when teaching somebody a skill, your light can shine and somebody can see the Christ in you. And then that becomes a platform to be
Yeah.
a minister. So I like to use my skills, my expertise as a catalyst for driving the message of hope, the message of salvation, the message of, all things are possible regardless of where you are. That's one of the main reasons why I absolutely love the business development coaching, is because when people get in impossible situations, it's like, okay, well, let's tap into something that's bigger than us. Let's go deeper. And that's what I like to really push when it comes to the coaching and mixing it, right? Taking what I do into the marketplace and still being true to who I am as a minister.
Right. Right. Yeah. I got that. Yes. Because like a lot of people just don't. I don't know. They have a deaf ear when it comes to the word given to them, and they, because God calls for jackass. So,
Mhm.
it, when it comes to a woman, it's like I live in Beaumont, Texas. I'll put
Okay.
it like that. So when it comes to a women ministry, they're just now grasping on to that. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? Because it used to be like a woman can't be a minister. So, but now it's not like that anymore. I mean, they
Still
don't
is
know.
like that.
Hmm.
I said they still do have some people that believe women should not be
Yeah,
ministers.
yeah,
And I'll tell you something about that. Like we said, it's everywhere still, right? So it's not like it's a culture that is easily received, whether
right.
it's from ministry, whether it's from business, whether once, of course, women are evolving and coming to the front and stepping into major roles, but yet it's still a struggle because it's not easily received, even though we come and we prove ourselves.
Hmm.
I can share a story of going to Africa and doing ministry. The same time of doing this teaching, I also was doing ministry there at a church. And trust me, initially when I first got there, it was like, okay, who is this
Yeah,
woman?
you see, yeah,
Right. And I looked around this church and I didn't see any women in leadership positions.
right.
So now you have me coming in, and then I'll never forget. That's why I love, and I have to share this testimony. I love how when God has his hand on you and he sends you somewhere to do a work,
Hmm.
uh, he will take the foolish things to
Yeah,
confound the wise, and he will make himself
right.
known. And
Hmm.
it's funny because I went to a place where there was a drought. And when I got there and I went to minister, and the Lord used me that night, and the Lord said, tell the people that it's going to be rain. Now, number one, it's like, okay, there's a drought. Number two, here goes a woman. Here comes, these prophecies, right? America coming with these prophecies.
Hmm.
By the time we left and got home, it poured down raining that night.
Wow.
It poured down raining heavy. And what was interesting is when I went back to speak at the same church 2 nights later, it was a joke that was said. We guess, so not even calling me minister or anything. We guess Sister
Yes.
Flora brought. We guess Sister Flora brought the rain, and it was something where I had to stand and be who I am. I would
Hmm.
say was, but I'm still that person. I had to
Right.
stand and be who I am in the midst of adversity and continue to do my assignment. And even in doing my assignment, I was given a word again. For those of you that don't believe that God can use a woman and that
Right.
God sent a woman, It's going to rain again tonight. And before the service was over, it began to pour down raining so much we could barely see in front, and everyone just looked. So I say that testimony and I share that testimony because sometimes there are women, maybe you're not in ministry, maybe you're in business and you're standing in a place of adversity. They're already discrediting your message. A lot of times, as women, when we go to speak in different places, we have to prove our credentials. But regardless of who you're standing around or how somebody discredits you, when you stand in who you are and
Mhm.
the message that you're sent to deliver, whether
Right.
in business, whether in ministry, whether in family, whatever the message is, when you own it, you stand in it and you release it, it
Mhm.
will back, it will be backed. It will be back and they won't be able to discredit you. And that's the key. That's the key for us as women, with whatever it is that we're going to do or looking to do. Own your place, own your message, own your voice, and stand in your position and don't let anything discourage you or deter you.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you have to stand on that word, because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, you know, I hate to see what happened after that. So.
Right.
But I know there's a lot of things that you do, Flo. And I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Tori, did you want to say anything?
No, no, ma'am, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
She's going easy on me.
Well, when that yet come, let me know.
I will.
So you say you have a touring company,
Mhm.
where not only in the USA, also in Jamaica.
Yes.
Why Jamaica?
Why Jamaica? Um, a couple of reasons for Jamaica, and through the conversations with me, you always see everything is infused with ministry. Um, I, in traveling back and forth to Jamaica for years, I would go for outreach. I would go for different things. I would always come with barrels, right? So I'm bringing barrels, I'm bringing things, I'm launching a school over there, all types of things. Now, that's where God has called me to be. I didn't want it. I didn't want to be there, but I was called there. I wanted to
Hmm.
do stuff here, but I was chosen there. And it got to a point where I was always bringing things, always bringing supplies, until one day I was on my way back to Jamaica. And the Lord said, don't take any supplies and don't bring any gifts. And I was
Hmm.
just like, what do you mean? Like, this is what we do.
What you
And
do?
he said, no. He said, when you go, tell them silver and gold have I not, but that which I
Right,
have I give. So I'm
right.
like, okay, this ain't gonna go well. But I went and I would tell different people, like, I don't have anything, but what I do have, I'll give you. And what I had was a skill. What I had was, I could train you on different things. I can give you different knowledge on how to do certain things. I have a passion. Back then, I just had a desire for travel. And my husband is also from Jamaica. And we started off with, okay, let's start moving. Let's start a transportation company. So now when people come, they can be moved around safely. They don't have anything to worry about. And now you're learning a skill, you're learning hospitality, you're learning customer service. He's learning so many different things
Hmm.
just by me teaching you how to relate with tourists and how to do that. And from there, I started to get other people who might not have had the education that they need, that
Hmm.
most places will tell them that they need, but they are passionate about cooking, passionate about cleaning, passionate about doing different things. And so what happened was, St. Tours actually birthed from the island, with me switching from giving them fish and then teaching them how to fish and switching up things and from a marketplace perspective, but yet it was still ministry for me. And
Right.
so from there, it was like we started to get excellent ratings. People started to call on us, and travel agents would come to me and say, hey, can you move my people around? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it just started to grow. And back then I was working under a MLM, so under like network marketing.
Hmm.
And so I didn't have my own credentials, and there was a lot of limitations. And the things that I wanted to do with people, I couldn't, because I had to follow somebody else's guidelines. So I began to work very hard to establish my company to the point where we can have our own IATA numbers, things that we need to stand on for ourselves. And it was only right that once I registered the business in America, that I then registered in the place where it was actually birthed through.
Hmm.
And that's where the connection came. That's where it was like, okay, Now let me start providing these same skills to my people of birth, of
Right.
my native people. Let me
Right.
make sure, now let me give them the skills to be able to have another stream of income, because that's what it was all about. When I was bringing gifts, they were only able to eat for a short period of time. When I brought them opportunity, they were able to feed their family for months. Off
Wow.
one
Yeah.
trip. One trip was able to feed a family for a couple of months. So it was things like that that I just started to say, okay, what am I doing? And it was just in my spirit. I'm sending you to make a difference in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it started from, bringing that skill,
Mm-hmm.
transportation, to now having vehicles on the island, to now having different people within my network. I always tell people, from an anchor to a plane, if you need it in Jamaica, by the grace of God, we can do it. We foster relationships. I understand the importance of fostering relationships. When I talk to people and I train people and I coach people in business, I show them the power related to having a solid network. And this is things that most people didn't even think of,
Mm-hmm.
that I just kind of infused this, establish a business there, established it here. Now we have travel agents currently in 4 states in America. Um, we have about 8 agents right now that is in Jamaica.
Okay.
Have an affiliate program that is now coming up under Sing Tours, where we're kind of ironing out the details on that in Dubai. So we'll have representation in Dubai representing Sing Tours
Mm-hmm.
National, even there, and it's just growing. Sing Tours is growing, and we're still looking to grow even more. Just bringing people on. We realize not everybody want to, and we teach them different ways to make money with travel, because sometimes they think it's only one way. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so many ways that you can make money with travel, even without traveling, even without booking people, you can make money.
Well, that's interesting. Because you never think it like that. You think about you have to book them to make the money.
Hmm.
See,
And you
but
don't. And
yeah.
you don't. And that's the whole reason why what works for us with Sing Tours is I take time with the agents, because you have to know your niche. Once
Mm-hmm.
you know your niche, that area that you love and that speaks to you, doing anything related to it is effortless. It doesn't feel like work. And then you become a resident expert. And then your expertise and your knowledge pays you. And then
Mm-hmm.
I show you how to package it so that it can pay you, so that it can pay you. Sometimes just having a consultation, and even if a person doesn't decide to go forward, you can make enough money in consultations alone to be able to pay your bills
Wow.
without one booking.
Wow. I might need to look into that.
Mhm,
I
mhm, mhm.
just might need to look into that.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
It sounds so interesting, like I said earlier, because I had a girlfriend who did tour. I mean, was a travel agent, and she had to book people to get the money. You see what I'm
Mhm,
saying? So that's why you think people get the money as far as being a travel agent. You have to book
mhm.
them. So
Yeah.
that's
You know
interesting.
what that comes from? That comes from, again, lack of knowledge. Sometimes when we're not
Just the rest
when
of
we're
that.
not exposed, when we're not exposed to different things, we think it's
Yeah.
only one way. I tell people all the time, listen, if I won't even say Siri, if Waze has not taught you that there are multiple ways,
Mm-hmm.
then go try to go to the closest Walmart the way you know, and then look and see if Waze have a different route to get you to that same place. And the answer will be yes,
Yes.
in most
Right.
cases. So it's like, okay, my historic way of thinking about travel was one way, but there is so many different avenues. There's some things that are travel, that is related to travel, that has nothing to do with flights, has nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
with rental cars, has nothing to do with hotels. Anything entertainment can fall under the route, can fall under travel. Doing a
Right.
conference, if you someone that does conferences, here's the thing. So Miss Jones, I don't, tell me, it's okay, I call you Miss Jones?
You call me Deborah.
Deborah. All right, Miss Deborah. So here's the deal. You always put together conferences.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking about being a travel agent. I'm just gonna put the conference together. The location that I'm going to have the conference, I will also just see if there's a hotel right next door, so I can at least just tell the people, hey, the Embassy Suite is right here, and Spring Hill is there, and this is there. You're just mapping it out, right? So a good planner is going to at least give you all the different options in the area and all of that. Well, guess what? You do your event hits its numbers just off of your registration, and you're happy about that. But your event could have actually taken you into the overflow if you'd have tapped into other streams. So now I have the event. I'm a travel agent. The event space is now going to give me a commission from booking it,
Right.
a commission that they never would give me before, that
Right.
they even consider before. But
Right.
I go in as a travel agent and I lock in that same room.
Mm-hmm.
I just made $400 off of a room that I normally they would be making the whole thing off of.
They would make it. Yeah.
So that's fine. I go over to the Embassy Suite as a travel agent and I say, I'm going to need X amount of rooms blocked off because I got people flying in. They block it off. They give it to you at a discounted rate and they give you a commission for every person that books in that room. Now you've just made money off of that room, and all you did was ask them for a link, share the link with the people, whoever book, whoever don't. Now you tapped into a stream. Now we got people that's flying in possibly for it. Now we might need people who might need a rental car. Well, I can go in and now I'm making commission off of every rental that is actually going through every piece that is connected. And guess what? If you say, hey, there's a show in the area and maybe after the event, everybody want to go see the Isley Brothers. I'm just going to say it. The Isley Brothers going to be here. And maybe after my event, you might want to do it. Well, as a travel agent, you can go in, you can get a link, and you can make money off everybody that goes to the Isley Brothers show. You weren't thinking about that. All you wanted to do was just do your conference.
Right.
And now all these extra things, all these extra streams, all these extra layers can possibly give you just as much, if not more money than what you would have made from your conference. And you're doing it from a perspective of, I don't even want them to know that I'm the agent behind it. So I don't have to worry about the headache of if something goes wrong with the room. I just gave them the link.
Man, that's, yeah, God.
So what we need, so what we do is that's the whole part of, again, looking at things that speak to the person and start to say, because sometimes we get frustrated, like, oh, this is not working, I'm not making enough money. And it's like, okay, let's figure out why we're not making enough money. Because there's money out there. Sometimes it's something as simple as holding a door that could bring in funds. But if you never thought of it as a way of bringing in funds, because nobody never enlightened you to what the benefits of it could be, you would just pass it as just normal.
So do you always get a lot of people call you to ask you to give them not so much insight, but give them information on how to move from A to B?
Yes. And some people, it's just a consultation. I get a lot of consultations where it's like, hey, I just want to pick your brain. And guess what? There was a time in my life where picking my brain was just like pick it and go. But I realized that people were picking my brains and then giving a stranger the accolades for what I know they got from me.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I said no, because the Bible says stop throwing your pearls to swine. I'm wondering why I'm home opening up a can of sardines and you happy.
Yeah.
And no, I don't want to eat sardines like that. I want filet mignon. So if you would like to know this information, here's my invoice. Because one thing I am going to do is I'm going to bring it when I bring it, because I'm not going to hold back. But I deserve to be compensated because I had to sow into something to get the knowledge. So therefore, everything is not free. And I've learned over the years that if you give everything free, sometimes people don't value free.
Right.
They don't value free.
Absolutely.
Right. And then sometimes you have to realize that, and this is something else that I help people when they say, okay, I'm going to charge them. And then it's like, okay, well, let's talk about how you charge. Right. Because certain tiers come with different type of headaches. So if I'm going to say I'm going to charge, and I'm just going to charge $50, you're going to have a $5 million headache with $50. Why? Because the person who can only afford the 50 in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, the fact that they gave you 50, they feel like they gave you 5 million, and now they want you to give them the sun, the moon, and the stars. But when you know your worth and you set it at the value of your worth, and if it's too high for someone to be able to afford, most people that, if you go high, most people on that level know what comes with the level of expertise that you bring. So they're not as tedious, so to
Right.
say, right? And again, you'll have some that is, but on average, not always.
Wow. You done blew a lot of people's mind out here. Because, like I said, a lot of people take people kindness for weakness.
Mhm.
So, and with that being said, you have all the knowledge, and like you said, now you used to just give it away.
Mhm.
Now you don't give it away anymore because
Mhm.
God has taught you.
Mhm.
You know you're valuable.
Right.
So he's taught you in that area. So people need to know that what you do, you just not gonna do it for free. It's just not.
Absolutely.
Just
Absolutely. And you have to stand on that. It's interesting in this day and time, everybody's like, stand on business. Okay, we get it. But you have to stand on that. If because again, when I speak from a faith perspective, a lot of times people want you to give everything for free, but there's a time and a season for everything, and everything cannot be free. Some things, there's a cost related to it, and it doesn't take away from who a person is. Sometimes that was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn as a minister, as a Christian coming up, because there was a time everything was, you need to give in order to see. Give is better than receive, and give, and I was giving everything and then empty. And then it just got to the point where it was like, but wisdom is a principle thing. I have to use wisdom with my giving. I have to know when, I have to know where, and then I have to feel okay with, if I have to charge, that I don't feel no type of way about
Right.
it, and it doesn't take away from who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Toya gets after me all the time about that. Stop doing that. You got to charge people for this and that. I'm like, well, I don't want to do it because of whatever,
Right.
you know.
That's where
But
the self-examination come in. Like when we deal with people like yourself, when they're like, well, I don't really want, that's when we have to take a dive at in you, and tearing the pieces apart of, what's your why? What's the driving force? What's making you feel that way? Because in that case, it's some type of emotion connected to it. And if we don't get to the root of what that is, it'll always be a struggle. It's not easy. I'm going to tell you that when you have that kind of heart and you are that type of giver, and certain things and dynamics that we experience coming up in life, which makes us that way, breaking that pattern is sometimes hard. And then also understanding the place that you're doing these things from is a good place and not a bad place. That's where you have to build your strength. And it's a process. It's a process, and you got to work the process. You're going to do well, then you're going to do bad, because again, every now and then we slip up and be like, our heart got in the way. But we have to sometimes let it not be a heart matter, but a head matter when it comes to business.
right, right.
Mhm.
That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. But we have to swallow it because, like you said, you know, people, like I said earlier, people take your kindness for weakness.
Mhm.
And if you just keep saying, no, I'm not gonna do this all the time, I'm not gonna charge you, don't worry about it, I'm doing it for the community. And so therefore, oh, she did it for the community, because word of mouth gets around. She did it for me free. And so the next person gonna say, oh, I can do it. You want to do it for me? I do it for me free, like you did it for somebody else.
Mhm.
She gets after me all the time about that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
It could be manipulation too, right? At, listen, it doesn't matter how much a place gives away something free, there's a cutoff.
mhm.
Unfortunately, you missed the cutoff. I would love to do it for you for free. The best that I could possibly do is give you a 10% discount and give it to them with a smile. Like, and look straight. Look straight is hard, Deborah. It's hard, but sometimes we have to look one way because that's how it goes. And the same person that wants it from you for free is gonna go down the street and pay somebody big money. Let me tell you, I mean, I got stories for glory. I promise you. I remember when, and you guys may remember this too, because I think it was like traveling all over. It was going all over the United States. Oprah was doing this really big, like she had Ayanna Van Sant. They were going like everywhere, like different states, and doing this kind of like coaching gathering thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to have someone that I would coach. I had two people that I would coach, and I mean, I would coach them. Sometimes free. One of them completely free. The other one, $50, $25. Just give me something. It's okay.
Right.
Telling. Well, the one that was free.com, who always act like she didn't have it, called me from the floor. So we know if you on the floor, you paid for that floor seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were on the floor for the whole weekend.
Yes.
And you would call me and have the nerve to tell me, I
You
can't
have the money.
believe everything you've been telling me is what they're here saying. And I guess that person thought that was going to make me feel good.
Wow.
That person came back and wanted a free session, and to this day has not paid to see me since, because I refuse to do free again.
Yeah.
I refuse to do free again.
Yes. And she's not going to. Whoever it is, they're not going to do it.
It was and I said, absolutely not. And at that point, I realized, and that's when I began to own the message and own what I do on my level of expertise. And if you don't want to pay me, I don't want to give you, I don't want to share. Why?
Right.
They're gonna talk.
Right. Wow. I don't know why people get into that predicament. Whereas I'm gonna say because I'm black and they're black, that we should just give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And they don't. And they're, like I said, they'll go somewhere, like you said earlier, they'll go someone else and pay them big time, big money.
Absolutely.
But
Or they'll tell you they don't have it. They don't have it.
See, we sisters. We sisters now. We sisters. You my sister. You got to do it for me.
Yeah.
But then you going over there, and they ain't your sister, and they ask for the money, and then they gonna pay them.
Or guess what? We sisters, and you go to another sister, but that sister just seemed like she got a little more clout than you, and now all of a sudden you found the money. How about that?
How about that?
So because you didn't value me, and it's okay. I value me. It's not your fault. I used to be in a place, and I like to speak from my own experience, where I took it all personal. It's not personal. You just showed me. I value me. I'm not mad at you. Go over there. I can't help you. I run into this a lot in business. When it comes to Jamaica, I mean, there are a lot of people that will try to call me. Let me ask you a quick question. And then sometimes I'll just answer it because I know it's so easy. And then they'll say, act like they're going to book with me or use somebody in my company. They don't. Then they end up on a trip and something go wrong. And then they want to remember me. Absolutely not. Talk to the voicemail. But there was a time I used to jump through the window and try to save the day and pull everybody out. Absolutely not. You have to feel the pain points of going around, unfortunately. And it hurts. But the Bible says in business, be men. And that is a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
In business, be men. When I saw that, and I teach on that, and I do workshops on that. In business, be men. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to teach someone faith-based. But when they see it, it's like, oh, wow. Oh, okay. I get it now.
Yeah. Like you said, it's a hard pill to swallow. You know, because we've done it so long.
Right.
And that's all we know. So, but we do better when we know better.
Right.
And if we don't know, we don't know. So we need somebody like you to teach us that, hey, this is what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And so I mean, sometimes I do get a deaf ear. Okay, I hear you, Toya. Okay, put my hand up. Still go back and do the same thing. Still go back and do the same thing because that's the way I always done it.
Uh-huh.
And that's the way, I'm in those ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to pull someone out of that situation to teach them to do something that they need to do and do well, that they do well, and they can be paid with it.
Mm-hmm.
Be paid for
So
it.
what I want you to do is take a piece of paper. I want you to write down the thing that you do well. And then I want you to say, okay, what are the pros? What are the good things that I get out of it? And what are the bad things that I get out of it? What type of return am I getting off of it? And if you're pleased with it in the end, then you stick to it. If you're not pleased with it in the end, it's time to change it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you got to look at it as it might not be monetary that might not be the bad thing, but if it's the hurt, if it's the sleepless nights, it's the peace taken away. Your peace is priceless. So what's it? You can't put $1 on your peace. So it's like, I do this, but it's like, man, I don't have no peace for a good 5 days. So you just lost 5 days of peace. Mm-hmm. Let's see what that equates to. Let's say if you was making X amount of dollars an hour, now calculate that times the days that you were not in a place of peace, being able to think straight, be able to go forward with something, being able to function. How much have you lost? Because it's not the act alone that has the impact. It's what it's doing to you afterwards. It's kind of like what they say, like when an earthquake come, right? They say it's the earthquake will happen, but it's not as bad as the aftershock.
Right.
So look at some of the things that you do and then start to think about what is the aftershock of when I do this? What is the aftershock when I do that? Is it prospering me or is it reducing me? Business, personal, etc. You look at that from all different perspectives. When I'm in this business meeting and I'm working with this business group, does it add value or is it devaluing? Is it giving me is it encouraging me and giving me the strength to keep fighting, or do I feel drained? Why am I drained? Something is sucking the life out of me. I need to start calculating whether or not this is conducive for my progress or not. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Toya. What's your question?
Yeah, we know you got something going over there.
Toya, you're not saying nothing.
I didn't have a question. I was scratching my face.
We know you got something you want to say over there.
No, I'm just enjoying listening to her speak. I really don't have anything.
I mean, it's been good. I looked at your page this morning. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I don't know why. I guess because I'm older. Because I could not get your website or anything, so I said, well, maybe I can go on a Facebook page and see what I send something to her through Facebook. And when I went on it, just I think you were on a podcast or a radio show or something like that a couple of days ago.
Yes.
And you spoke on forgiveness and everything.
Yes.
Am I right?
That is correct.
Okay, so last week, someone put on their Facebook page about forgiving somebody. Mm-hmm. And so, we as people, we'll forgive you, but we won't forget about it. And then we'll tell you that in a minute. I'm gonna forgive you, but I ain't gonna never forget what you did. Mm-hmm. But they go hand in hand.
Right.
And you don't realize that it's supposed to go. If you forgive, then you're gonna have to forget it. So
I think it depends, right? It's so when we say I forgive, but I don't forget, we're angry. There's still some type of animosity connected to it. It's still some hurt connected to it. So it's like, what part, when you say I'm not going to forget, then I think the next question should be, how are you going to remember it? What's the feeling associated with your remembering, right? So yeah, don't forget what happened. You should learn from it.
Learn
What
from it.
can I
Right.
learn from it? What can I do different based on this situation? But if it's still going to continue to make me feel hurt, and that's what I mean by I won't forget it, I'm not going to forget it. It's like then that thing still has you locked up. That
Mm-hmm.
thing still has you bound. And the key is for you to be free. So saying that you forgive, but still holding on to the pain or not going through the process of being healed through the pain is just keeping you locked at that same place that you were when the incident occurred. So I agree. I can forgive you. I won't forget the situation, but I won't be held hostage to the pain associated with it.
As what?
I
Yeah.
won't be held hostage to the problems that was connected with it. And I won't position myself to revisit or for it to revisit me again in
Mm-hmm.
the future. I'll start to put certain boundaries in place so that I don't have to go down that road anymore.
Right.
I don't have to suffer that thing anymore. And I think that part is the key. And again, we've all been there. We're like, I forgive you, but I won't forget.
I won't
And
forget.
you know what you feeling when you saying that, like,
Yes.
ooh,
Yeah.
ooh,
That,
uh-huh,
that definitely is a hard pill to swallow. That definitely is
ooh,
a hard pill to swallow.
uh-huh,
So I told a friend of mine, you've got to not let it get you down,
mm-hmm,
to a point that you just the rest of your life. I remember what you did to me in 1975, but see, you still holding on to that.
right. Yep. 1975 is 2024. All right. You remember what I did to you and you reminding me why.
Uh huh.
That's the key. It's like, why are you reminding me today? Am I doing that today? Does
Yeah.
every time you see me bring that very moment back up? Then there is some trauma connected to it. It's not the forgiving me piece that we need to focus on. It's the trauma, it's the pain. What are you still feeling? What are you still looking for? What do you want to get out of holding on to it? How do you let that go? And some people think let it go makes you weak. No, letting go means now I have room for something better. As long as I'm holding a bunch of stuff in my hand, I don't have room enough to receive nothing else. I don't have room for nothing new to come in. I'm holding old thoughts. I'm holding old pain. I use an example about sinking. I'm holding a bunch of dead things. That time is not being lived right now. Why am I still holding it?
Mhm.
What value is it adding to my life? And this is a lot of self work dealing with it. And again, sometimes the trauma of certain things can be so bad that you just feel like, listen, I don't want to deal with you anymore. And guess what? It's okay. It's okay if you don't listen. It was just that bad. It violated me in a way that went against my beliefs, my worth, my value, my this, my that. And unfortunately, I don't want to give you or no one else the opportunity to take me into that space again. Can you change? Yes, but I've made a decision that I don't want to be the one that you prove that you changed or didn't change to. It's okay. I don't have you up. I just need to continue to work out my healing process. And the fact that whenever you come around, it takes me back, I'm not
Mhm.
healed.
Yeah.
I'm not healed. And sometimes what we don't realize, and even as we talk about life and business, a lot of times some things that has happened to us, it affects us in business. It affects us in family. It affects us in ministry. Sometimes it calls us to be guarded when we need to be open. Sometimes it calls us to be open when we need to be guarded. And we are so worth the time and effort to work those things out so that they no longer affect our decision making.
Yeah. What sets you apart from other uh, people in your type of business as well as your ministry?
Oh, that's a good question. In my mind is, and this is, I never would have thought that, but I hear it a lot. But I believe it's because I'm, what would I think? There we go. I'm pure. I'm straight with it. It's it's easy to come on here and try to say everything that's eloquent, everything that's going to sound right, that's going to sound good. I speak from my soul
Mm-hmm.
in everything that I do. I know that I'm not perfect. I know that I don't know it all. I know that I'm not the best in my industry, but I'm the best at what I'm doing in the moment that I'm doing it.
Right.
And in that, I'm comfortable. I'm
Mm-hmm.
confident. I wasn't always that. And I'm okay. I'm okay if we were to go and had to speak, and let's say what I spoke on, the applause wasn't a lot, but then Toya spoke and she had a whole mass. It don't take away from what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
I hit it out the park in my area. Toya, you hit it out the park in your area. Collectively, we did our thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's me. And I always was not like that. Because what? Traumas, hurts, pain, the measuring stick, always measuring myself with this one, with that one. And I think that's what makes me different. And I'm not afraid to be who I am. I'm not afraid to speak about, my faith without imposing it in a way where folks feel like I'm you know, everything is just gospel, but you're going to hear me talk about, my beliefs, and it's going to be infused with the word, and it's going to be in a way where a lot of people can receive it. And I think that's what kind of makes me different. That makes me stand out. hmm And I lived it. I'm not guessing it. You
Right.
have some people that say, "Oh, I can talk to you about this." A lot of times, in most cases, if I don't know it, I'm not talking about it. Why? Because I don't believe in just fluffing people up. I need you to get it. I need it to be real. And that's what, when I go, I bring the realness of my experience and expertise, and then just let the Lord have his way with the rest.
Yeah, I'm a true believer in, as far as if you want to get into something, anything, business, as because you are a businesswoman, whatever, first thing you need to do is pray about
Yeah.
it. And so you have to let God lead you in that, but it might not be what God wants you to do.
hmm
So you pray about it and see what the deal is, what He says, and everything. So what would you tell somebody if they wanted you to talk to them about um, the tours, or being a what was that, a not a flight attendant, I was a flight attendant, about being a tour manager, is that what you call it, is that what it
What
is?
if somebody want to get into like travel
Travel
or?
agent, yeah. And or
Mhm.
or and I'm not gonna say ministry because God has called you to the ministry, but a travel agent, or what would you tell someone? Because you have that
Um,
business. You and Flo, you got Floyd Me. You have whatever,
Saint tours. Uh-huh.
yes, sea tours, and you
hmm
see whatever. So what
Yeah.
would you tell someone if they wanted to get, even if they wanted to join you? How could they join you in it?
hmm the first thing I would say to anyone. So let's say if they said they wanted to become a travel agent. Somebody said they wanted to get into business. Somebody said that they want to change their business. They want to scale their business. They want to get in. I think I might have said ministry. The
Right.
first thing I would ask them is why. Why? As simple as that. Those three letters. Why? Why do you want to do it? Why
Hmm.
are you interested in it? Why does that speak to you? How does it speak to you? Why do you believe you're a good fit for that? Why do you feel like you need to scale? And take a deep dive in it. It's not an easy one size fit all kind of question, because sometimes people's why can be fear driven. People's why could be present situation driven. Oh, I want to get into travel because I need to be able to make money right now. I'm struggling.
Right.
All right, that's temporary.
Yeah.
Because after you get into it and you realize that it's work, or you may not like people, right?
Like
uh, this might not be the right fit for you. So that's why I don't quickly jump when people say they want to do stuff. I try to help them really look at themselves and see what's the driving force for you even saying that you're interested in doing it. I'm passionate about travel. Why are you passionate about travel? And then we build on it. because it is because of that. And I've had some people that came on a team that wanted to be a travel agent. They were passionate about travel, but in all actuality, they were just passionate about them traveling. Because when they started booking a trip with somebody else, they was like, I'm tired of these people. And for me, customer service is everything.
Yeah,
But
yes.
if you have bad customer service, then we got bad service no matter what you do or what area you in. But what I did was I went with the same young lady and I said, okay, you love to travel. You want to be a travel agent. You want to be a part of the team. All right, so let's make you an influencer. And you're doing this. You're going to be able to get trips at a discount. I need certain content. You love social media. Take it to the next level. Mm-hmm. Make these resorts pay you for coming there. Make different people pay you for wearing their bathing suit. You see where I start to dive into it in the area that she love. Listen, we gonna make it do what it do. Make that person put that wig on your head and you promote everywhere you go. Those braids in your hair and you promote. You get ready to be an influencer. Build your brand and build it big. And at the end of the day, Smack Sing Tours at the bottom of everything you do. So when somebody say, well, I want to go to Bali too. Well, talk to Flora. And that's the thing I love, because again, I could have came and I could have threw her right in as a travel agent. She'd have been miserable.
Right.
But when we found out her why, it worked. And it's funny because after finding out her why, she then did a big group trip. But she realized she made money off that group trip with a bunch of people that she don't like dealing with, but she understood and she learned the importance of partnership, collaboration. I don't want to deal with people, but another person in the team is like a social butterfly. So I'll partner with them. They handle the people part. I handle the influence part. We split the commission and everybody's happy.
Wow.
So that is what I would say to a person, like really take a deep dive. And then even for someone that may not talk to me or may not hear from me or may not do anything with me and just thinking about getting into business, travel, anything, start to write down your whys. Why do I want to do this? Why is it important? Why do I feel good about that? And just build. And when you start looking at your whys and start drilling down, and if that why is strong enough for you to launch into it, then take the step. If it's shaky, then you might want to do a little bit deeper diving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, that's real talk. That's real talk. Flora, well, before we shut down, let's see if Toya wants to say anything this time.
No, I don't. I enjoyed the conversation though.
She must speak with you all the time, Flo.
Toya, do you normally be interviewing and asking questions? All right, I feel some type of way now, Toya.
No, I really enjoyed the conversation.
I'm gonna have to get her to talk while we be on our podcast. So she speaks sometimes. So But I don't want to keep you tonight because I'm respectful of people's time, and this is our podcast and the hour is up. So but we appreciate you coming to Blue Table Talk, and with your experience, I know you helped somebody and you helped me tonight. I'm just gonna put it on out there. You helped me tonight, so I appreciate that, and just thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
This needed to be an hour and a half or 2 hours, really. There's really some more questions I wanted to ask. I was like, first when Toya told me sent me the bio of you, I was like, I don't know what to ask her. I'm like, what? She has all this. Let me see what should I say? But I prayed on that while I was at work today, and I said, God, you got to give me the insight. You got to let me know what's what. And you just came out and you helped me. You just floated. Floor just floated out.
I thought it was going to be easy with her.
She did. She did tell me that. Yeah. Like I said, I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I think I text you at it's 4 my time. It's 5 y'all time. So,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
so I think I text Latoya at that time in the morning, but I don't text anybody at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, but thank you. Like I said, thank you for coming on tonight. And if I might be calling you to come back on for for whatever reason. So I hope you
Okay, no
again.
problem.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys for coming to Blue Table Talk. I forgot to. You know what, Flo? I always speak to my audience doing my podcast, but I did not speak to them tonight. I am so super sorry. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I appreciate you guys. And as always, y'all always support us. So keep it going. Don't forget to go ahead and still share that, hit that share button, because somebody forgot to tune in tonight to listen to Florida, and she was awesome, amazing. I mean, just fantastic. So I just can't express how she made me feel tonight, and I really appreciate that. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, whoever was on tonight. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Betty. You guys, thank you for coming on. Don't forget to hit that share button. Thank you, Flo. I appreciate it. Stay on for a minute.
Okay,
You
no
out.
problem.
Bye, guys. If I can help somebody, if I pass it on this way, then you know that my living is not in vain. Almost forgot my little motto. Bye. Smooches.